Hi guys, welcome back to my channel For Your Heart and Home. My name is Dee Dee. Welcome into my kitchen. Alright, so something I like to talk to you about today is what I like to do to streamline my life and to make things easier as a homemaker. One of the things that has really helped me over the last several years is waking early. I strive to wake up at 4 a.m. every day. It doesn't always happen, but that's my goal. And when I'm up at that time, it gives me time to get ready for the day. It also gives me time to have some quiet time before I take on the tasks of the day. Besides homemaking, homeschooling, I also manage our business. So that's a time when I can take care of our emails, take care of our social media, whatever else needs to get done. I have that time carved out early in the morning for me to take care of all those things. So waking early really helps me to prepare for the day, and it sets the tone for the day. It's really important that I take that time to take care of myself at the beginning of the day as well as at the end of the day. And that kind of segues into my next point. So, the next thing I try to make sure I do every day is take care of me. Find some time to do something for myself. In the morning is spending that time to get ready. And at night, it means taking time to prepare myself for a wonderful night's rest. After working all day, after doing all the things that I've done, it's important to give myself that time to reset. And so I bookend my day with self-care. I start the day taking care of myself and I end the day taking care of myself. That helps to keep me in the frame of mind to do my work, to do it well. Another thing that I have adopted that has helped me to streamline my homemaking life is to have a day and night rhythm. So, first thing in the morning, once I'm up, once I've done all the things I've set out to do in my quiet time, once I've addressed what I needed to address with the business, then I focus on the home. So before my children wake up, I like to walk through, see what needs to get done. Do I need to take care of laundry? Do I need to repair something? Do I need to go ahead and attend to something that was on a to-do list from 2 weeks ago? So I do a walkthrough of the home. I also do this walkthrough after breakfast. It gives me a chance to set us up for our homeschooling day. Once my children get up for the day, they have their own schedule that they have to follow, and much of that includes getting themselves ready for the day, getting themselves something to eat, and then getting themselves ready for learning time. And so once they are going through their routine of what needs to get done, I like to walk through the home, like I said, and get going with whatever plans I have set out for the day. Similarly, at night, I like to follow a nightly rhythm. So after we have completed everything that we've set out to do that day, after dinner, after downtime, I like to walk through my home and do a reset in all of the rooms. So in the living room, I like to, fluff the couch, sweep the floors, and then move on to all the other spaces as well. In the kitchen, it's imperative for me, and it's actually a non-negotiable for me in the kitchen, is making sure I close the kitchen for the night. It's really one of the top things that I have to do to make sure that I have a peaceful night. I do not feel comfortable and I'm unable to relax until my kitchen is cleaned for the night. I make sure at the very least all the dishes are done, the counters are cleaned, the floors are swept, and the stove is cleaned off. I cook every single day. Not every meal for every single day, but yes, every single day something gets cooked. So it's important that I clean the stove off after cooking each meal. So closing the kitchen at night is a non-negotiable for me. And yes, I'm not perfect. There have been times when I have gone to bed and the dishes aren't done. But there are also times where I'm doing dishes at 1 in the morning because I am just unable to feel comfortable in my home without that being done. So again, that might sound a little extreme for you, but for me, that's how things go in our family. It's part of my nightly rhythm, and if you make it part of your nightly routine, it becomes automatic. As soon as everybody is done at the table, you scrape the leftovers off and you save those in your refrigerator. Anything that's not going to be eaten goes in the garbage, and you just go ahead and do the dishes right away, get it done, and then you can relax for the rest of the night. Another thing that I have done to streamline my homemaking life is trying to stay on top of laundry. And I use the word trying because we all know there's no matter how many hours you spend doing laundry, laundry will still exist. But when I do take the time to do laundry, I dedicate the whole day to doing it. I do not like to have laundry done and then it's not folded and put away. So for me, I like to go through the entire process of laundry in one fell swoop. There are 5 of us in the family, which means there's a lot of laundry. So I like to have the laundry washed, folded, and put away in one fell swoop if possible. So if I know we have to do laundry, I put everything else to the side and I make sure we get it done. And everything is folded, everybody gets their respective stacks of laundry and they can file them away in their drawers, they can put them away, and we can get through the process of getting our laundry cleaned and put away all at once. My children are old enough to help with folding, they're old enough to help with putting their laundry away, and so that helps me during that process as well. But one of the not non-negotiables, but yes, that's also important that once we tackle laundry, we get it done all at once. So another thing that has helped me in my journey as a mom and a homemaker is keeping our high traffic areas in tip-top shape. So I know it's easy to have, for example, the front door area to be overrun with shoes. Now, as soon as we get into our house, we take our shoes off, and part of our process is to pick up your shoes and to go put them where they belong immediately. We can't be tripping over shoes. We can't have the front entrance of our home being in disarray, and so it's important that we have a proper place for shoe storage. And we all know you walk in the door, you take your shoes off, boom, you put it away. Get the children into the habit of doing that, get the adults into the habit of doing that, and it becomes something that you no longer have to think about. So, targeting high traffic areas is really important. Keeping those areas clutter free helps to keep the home feeling calm and comfortable. Having a regular cleaning schedule also helps me to keep my home streamlined and ready at all times. So I explained before how part of my nightly rhythm is to make sure that the kitchen is cleaned. Our kitchen gets cleaned several times a day because I'm in there all the time. I'm not scrubbing walls several times a day, but like I said, the bare minimum, the basics are getting done frequently. Dishes are being washed frequently. By the way, we don't have a dishwasher, so it's important that we stay on top of washing dishes. The counters are being cleaned off, the floor is being swept, the stove is being cleaned off. So the bare basics are being done on a regular basis, and so that helps to keep the look of the kitchen clean. But it's also helpful to have a cleaning schedule for other parts of your home. So having a schedule for how often you clean your bathroom, how often you are mopping your floors, how often you're changing bed linens. If you can have a set schedule, that will help to minimize the overwhelm, minimize the frustration we might encounter as homemakers. So a simple cleaning schedule could be cleaning your bathroom 3 times per week, changing your curtains once per month, whatever it is that works for your home. You will go ahead and create that schedule for yourself. And again, it's a guide. It doesn't have to be a hard and fast rule. If you get off schedule because you're on vacation or something happens, somebody gets sick, whatever it is, it's okay. Just use it as a guide and come back to center by following the guidelines that you've made for yourself. And again, it's your home. You make the rules and you do what you want to do and you do what works best for your family. I'm sharing what works for us. So I discussed this a lot in my previous video. One thing that I have done to streamline our homemaking day is to get a handle on mealtime. I shared that mealtime has been overwhelming at some points in our lives and that it's no longer overwhelming because I have found a way to minimize that frustration. And here are some quick tips to remind you of things that I try to do to make sure that mealtime is not stressful. So, one thing is to have meat thawing. If you have enough space to have meat stored at the bottom of your refrigerator, you can always have meat thawing, and so you can have something ready to go, ready to cook, and you don't have to worry about thawing meat. Another thing is to have easy meats for quick meals. That might mean having shrimp in your freezer because shrimp is a quick and easy meal to make. Or you might have canned meats that you already either home canned or you purchased at the store. And in a bind, in a pinch, you can just pull that off your shelf and you can create a delicious meal quickly. Having quick meats ready to go is one way to streamline mealtime. Maybe you forgot to thaw the chicken, or maybe you forgot to thaw the lamb, and so it's going to take time to do that. If you have some kind of quick protein or quick meat ready to go, then you can bypass the stress of thawing meat. And finally, the last thing is having a well stocked pantry. Again, I went over this in detail in my previous video, but having a few things on your pantry shelf at all times can help to make mealtime less stressful. You can use rice or quinoa as a base to basically any kind of meat you can think of. If you have home canned meats or canned meats from the grocery store or some kind of quick meat that you can put together, you can throw that together with some rice and veggies any meal, any time of the day, any day of the week, and you have something fresh, delicious, and ready to go. Mealtime does not have to be stressful. You're not a five-star restaurant. You're just trying to feed your family with something hearty, something delicious. And many times as parents, we overthink the process and make it far more complicated than it has to be. So, quickly, briefly, I'll recap what I said earlier. These are just some things that I have done that have helped me in streamlining my life, and I hope it might be helpful for you. So, waking early, for me, that means waking at 4 a.m. Taking time at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day for self care. Doing the dishes at night as part of my nightly rhythm really helps in streamlining the time for when I wake up in the morning. If I don't have to worry about a sink full of dishes first thing in the morning, it really clears my mind. It's inviting and it inspires me to go into my kitchen and create if my kitchen is clean at the beginning of the day. Keeping high traffic areas uncluttered really helps set the tone of the home, and it really helps to make your home inviting and relaxing and calming. Having a cleaning schedule for the rest of your home is also helpful. It keeps you on task, it keeps you focused, and it helps you to see what are the big picture of what needs to get done. Again, use it as a guide, not a hard and fast rule. And finally, mealtime does not have to be stressful. It does not have to be complicated. There are just a few simple tips you can use to help mealtime feel less like a chore. In today's video, I'm sharing with you just a few things that I got done on this homemaking day. Again, I'm filming during the middle of the week now and not on the weekend, so I'm not able to do those huge restock videos like I was doing at the very beginning. But today I'm working on making some beet juice. This is for my husband. He loves drinking kale juice, and the juice consists of kale, beet, cucumbers, apples, celery, and ginger. So I just cut each of the ingredients up after washing them, and then I just blend them in my Ninja Bullet that I have. This is a very nutritious drink and he enjoys it. I primarily make this for my husband for him to drink it right before he leaves for work in the morning. Sometimes he uses it as a meal replacement for on the go meals. After making this drink, I like to store it in mason jars and it will store for a few days in the refrigerator. I wouldn't go past a few days, so I wouldn't make too big of a batch of this because after a few days the nutrient content is going to deplete and it's going to just be no longer as beneficial as when it is done fresh. If you can do this every day, that's wonderful. I don't have the time to do it every day, and so I'll do small batches for him and he can have this as a meal replacement or an addition to a meal throughout the week. Also on this day, I was able to make some quick lunch. I used my bread machine to create this pizza crust and then I divided it into two, used it to make some fresh homemade pepperoni pizza. Next thing I worked on was to make some muffins. I shared in my previous video that if you're interested in any of the recipes that you see me doing here, if the recipe is my own, I will have a copy of it over on my blog on wix.com and the link will be in the description box if you're interested. If the recipe does not belong to me, I will also link that in the description box and you can follow that link to get the full recipe. I will have more recipes posted on my blog soon. I've been posting on a daily basis, so check often. Many of the things that I use on a regular basis will be on the blog, so feel free to go there, download the recipes, and use it in your kitchen. This was a day when we were getting ready for a field trip on the following day, and so I was just making a few things that we could grab and go the following day to take with us on our field trip. For breakfast on this day, we were having some chocolate chip muffins, some home fries, as well as some scrambled eggs. I made a double batch of the muffins so that we could have it for breakfast on that day as well as to have it to grab and go when we were leaving for our field trip the following day. So I'm just peeling my potatoes, then I will wash them and I will cut them into bite-sized cubes so I can turn them into home fries. So here it is, our spread for the morning. Again, I made some chocolate chip muffins as well as some scrambled eggs and some home fries. Next, I wanted to make some chocolate chip cookies for dessert. Again, the recipe for chocolate chip cookies should be on the blog. If it's not there, I'll definitely link a recipe in the description box as well. Guys, this chocolate chip cookie is phenomenal. I am so glad I found this recipe and I've adopted it for our family slightly, and it is just wonderful. I have used it with just chocolate chips. I've used it with chocolate chips and peanut butter chips. I've used it with chocolate chips and white chocolate chips, and every variation has been wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I don't think I can ever buy a cookie from the store anymore. Now, I didn't film this, but again, we were getting ready for a field trip the following day, and I wanted to have some things that we could grab and go. So, in my bread machine, I had some dough going for sandwich loaves. So, now that the cookies are ready to go into the oven, it was time to take the sandwich loaves out of the oven. And one of them got a little bit bigger than the other. It doesn't really matter for us, but the bread tasted absolutely amazing. I haven't made sandwich bread in a couple of weeks as we've been making other styles of bread. I've made bagels, I made a Dutch oven loaf, but we haven't had sandwich loaves in a while, and so it was a nice change to go back to that. So not much to show in my evening spread, but I did make 2 loaves of bread. I made a few cookies, and again, they tasted fantastic. But it was still a full homemaking day. I still got a lot of things done. I was able to make us a full breakfast. I made us some lunch. I made some juice for my husband. We had a pretty full day in the kitchen, and I'm just grateful for this opportunity to serve my family in this way. Once again, thanks so much for spending this time with me. I really appreciate your time and you spending it with me in the kitchen. I hope that I was able to leave you something, some inspirational thoughts, something to get you thinking, something to get you moving, something you can apply to your own life. So thanks again for being here. I really appreciate your support. So thanks for being here. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Be well.